One of those no-name monsters hit me with a hot buttered biscuit. So now I have to change.
What you say, Maggie? The radio was on so loud I couldn't hear you.
Well, I just remarked that one of those no-neck monsters messed up my lovely sparkly dress. So now I have to change.
Why do you call Gooper's kitties no-neck monsters?
Because they've got no necks. Their fat little heads are set on their fat little bodies without any visible connection. Hear them? Hear them screaming? I tell you, I got so nervous at that dinner table tonight, I thought I would throw back my head and utter a scream you could hear across the Arkansas border. Well, I want you to know, Big Daddy hadn't been at that table for more than 2 minutes with those 5 no-neck monsters slobbering and drooling over their food before he threw down his fork and shouted, "For God's sake, Goober, why don't you put them pigs in a trough in the kitchen?" I swear, I simply could have died. Think of it, Brick. They've got 5 of them, and number 6 is coming. Why, they brought the whole bunch of them down here like animals to display at a county fair. Why, they have those children doing tricks all the time, along with constant little remarks and innuendos about the fact that you and I have not produced any children, are totally childless, and therefore totally useless. Of course, it's comical, but it's also disgusting since it's so obvious what they're up to.
What are they up to, Maggie?
I'll tell you what they're up to, boy mine. They're up to cutting you out of your father's estate. And now we know that Big Daddy's dying of cancer.
Do we?
Do we what?
No, Big Daddy is dying of cancer.
Got the report today.
Oh.
Yep. Got the report just now. It didn't surprise me, baby. I recognized the symptoms soon as we got here last spring. And I'm willing to bet you that Brother Man and his wife were pretty sure about it, too. Which more than likely explains why their usual summer migration to the coolness of the Great Smokies was passed up this summer in favor of hustling down here with their whole screaming tribe. And why so many allusions have been made to Rainbow Hill lately. You know what Rainbow Hill is, baby? A place that's famous for treating alcoholics and dope fiends in the movies.
I am not in the movies.
No, and you don't take dope. Otherwise, you're a perfect candidate for Rainbow Hill, baby. And that's where they aim to ship you, over my dead body. But nothing would please them more than they could get a hold of the purse strings and dole out remittances, cut off our credit, wherever, whenever he wanted. How'd you like that, baby? Well, you've been doing everything you can to aid and abet them in this scheme of theirs. Quitting work, devoting yourself to the occupation of drinking, breaking your ankle last night on the high school athletic field. Doing what? Jumping hurdles at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Got in the newspapers, human interest story, about a well-known former athlete staging a one-man track meet on the Glorious Hill High School athletic field, but was slightly out of condition and didn't clear the first hurdle. Brother Man Gooper claims he exercised his influence to keep it from going out over the AP and the UP and every other damn P. But, Brick, you still have one big advantage.
You say something, Maggie?
Big Daddy dotes on you, honey. And he can't stand Brother Man and that monster Fertility May. Know how I know? By little expressions that flicker over his face when that woman is holding forth on one of her choice topics, such as how she refused twilight sleep when the twins were delivered because she believes motherhood's an experience that ought to be experienced fully in order to fully appreciate the wonder and the beauty of it all. Huh! Producing those no-neck monsters. Big Daddy shares my attitude toward those two. And as for me, well, I give him a laugh now and then, and he tolerates me. As a matter of fact, I sometimes suspect Big Daddy harbors a little unconscious lech for me.
What makes you think that Big Daddy harbors a lech for you, Maggie?
Why, he always drops his eyes down my body when I'm talking to him. Drops his eyes down to my boobs and licks his old chops.
That kind of talk is disgusting.
Did anyone ever tell you you're a back-breaking Puritan, Brick? I think it's mighty fine that that old fella, on the doorstep of death, still takes in my shape with what I think is deserved appreciation. You want to know something else? Big Daddy didn't even know how many little Mays and Goopas had been produced. And when they informed him that they had 5 already and number 6 was coming, the news seemed to come as a sort of unpleasant surprise.
Scream monsters!
Yes. Your brother Gooper still cherishes the illusion he took a giant step up on the social ladder when he married Miss May Flynn of the Memphis Flynns. Well, I have a piece of Spanish news for Gooper. The Flynns never had a thing in this world but money, and they lost that. They were nothing at all but fairly successful climbers. As for May having been the Cotton Carnival Queen, as they remind us so often, lest we forget, that's one honor I don't envy her for. Sit on a brass throne on a tacky float and ride down Main Street, smiling and bowing and blowing kisses to all the trash on the street. Why, a year before last, when Susan McFeeters was singled out for that honor, you know what happened to her? You know what happened to poor little Susie McFeeters?
No, what happened to poor little Susie McFeeters?
Somebody spit tobacco juice in her face.
Somebody spit tobacco juice in her face.
That's right. Some old drunk leaned out of a window in the Hotel Gayoso and yelled, "Hey there! Hey there, Queenie!" Poor Susie looked up and flashed him a radiant smile, and he shot a squirt of tobacco juice right in poor Susie's face.
Well, what do you know about that?
What do I know about it? I was there. I saw it.
Must have been kind of funny.
Poor Susie didn't think so. Had hysterics. Screamed like a banshee. They had to stop the parade, get her off her throne. Why are you looking at me like that?
Like what, Maggie?
The way you were looking at me just now, before I caught your eye in the mirror and you started to whistle. I don't know how to describe it, but it froze my blood. I've caught you so often looking at me like that lately. What are you thinking of when you look at me like that?
I wasn't conscious of looking at you, Maggie.
Well, I was conscious of it. What were you thinking?
I don't remember thinking anything, Maggie.
Don't you think I know? Don't you think I know
Know what?
that I've gone through this hideous transformation? Become hard, frantic, cruel. That's what you've been observing in me lately. How could you help but observe it? Well, that's all right. I'm not thin-skinned anymore. Can't afford to be thin-skinned anymore. But Brick?
You say something, Maggie?
I was gonna say something. That I get lonely. Very.
Everybody gets that.
Living with someone you love can be lonelier than living entirely alone if the one that you love doesn't love you.
Would you like to live alone, Maggie?
No. God, I wouldn't. Did you have a nice bath?
Uh-huh.
Was the water cool?
No.
But it made you feel fresh, huh?
Fresh sure.
I know something that would make you feel much fresher.
What, Maggie?
An alcohol rub or cologne. A rub with cologne.
Well, that's good after a workout, Maggie, but I haven't been working out much lately.
You've kept in good shape, though.
You think so, Maggie?
I always thought drinking men lost their looks, but I was plainly mistaken.
Well, thanks, Maggie.
You're the only drinking man I know. It never seems to put fat on.
I'm getting softer, Maggie.
Well, sooner or later it's bound to soften you up. It's just beginning to soften up Skipper when... I'm sorry. I never could keep my fingers off a sore. I wish you would lose your looks. No such luck. I actually think you've gotten better looking since you've got on the bottle. Of course, you always had that detached quality. That rare sort of charm. The charm of the defeated. You look so cool. So cool. So enviably cool.
Now look at here, boy. Let me show you how to get out.
They're playing croquet. The moon's appeared. And it's white. Just beginning to turn a little bit yellow. You were a wonderful lover. And I think mostly because you were really indifferent to it. Isn't that right? Never had any anxiety about it. Did it naturally, easily, with absolute confidence and perfect calm. More like opening a door for a lady or seating her at a table than giving expression to any longing for her.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I got you boxed.
You know, if I thought that you would never make love to me again, I would go downstairs to the kitchen and pick out the longest, sharpest knife I could find and stick it straight into my heart. I swear that I would.
Watch out. You're gonna miss it. You just don't know.
But one thing I don't have is the charm of the defeated.
Hey.
My hat is still in the ring, and I'm determined to win.
Boy, just like an eel.
Later tonight, I'm going to tell you that I love you. And maybe by that time you'll be drunk enough to believe me. They're playing croquet. Big Daddy's dying of cancer. What were you thinking of when I caught you looking at me like that? Were you thinking of Skipper?
Maggie.
Oh, excuse me. Forgive me, but laws of silence don't work. No, laws of silence don't work.
Give me my crutch.
Lean on me.
No, just give me my crutch.
Lean on my shoulder.
I don't want to lean on your shoulder. Now give me my crutch.
All right. Here it is. Take it.
Thanks.
We mustn't scream at each other. The walls in this house have ears. But, Greg, that's the first time I've heard you raise your voice in a long time. A crack in the wall of composure. I think that's a good sign. A sign of nerves in a player on the defensive.
It just hasn't happened yet, Maggie.
What?
The click I get in my head when I've had enough of this stuff to make me peaceful. Now, will you do me a favor?
Maybe I will. What favor?
Just keep your voice down. Huh?
I'll do you that favor. I'll speak in a whisper, if not shut up completely. If you will do me a favor and make that drink your last one till after the party.
What party?
Big Daddy's birthday party.
This Big Daddy's birthday?
You know this is Big Daddy's birthday.
No, I don't. I forgot.
Well, I remembered it for you.
Good for you, Maggie.
Look, you just have to scribble a few lines on this card.
You scribble something on the card.
No, it's got to be your handwriting. It's your present. It's got to be your
I
handwriting.
didn't get him a present, Maggie.
Well, I got one for you.
Then you write something on the card.
And have him know you didn't remember his birthday?
I didn't remember his birthday.
But you don't have to prove you didn't.
I don't want to fool him about it.
Just write love, quick, for God.
No!
You've got to.
I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. Now, you keep forgetting the conditions on which we agreed to say I'm living with each other.
I'm not living with you. We occupy the same cage.
Get away.
You've got to remember the conditions agreed upon.
They're impossible
Why
conditions.
don't you?
Hush. Hush. Who's out there? Is there somebody at the door?
May I enter a moment?
Oh, it's you. Sure, May. Come on in.
Brick, is this thing yours?
Why, sister woman, That's my Diana trophy. Won it at the intercollegiate archery contest on the old